Before we get started, I'd like to ask you all a couple of questions. So if you don't mind, if everybody could raise their hand for me, please. Come on, everybody. Thank you. When I ask a question that doesn't apply to you, feel free to put your hand down. First question. How many of you believe it is essential to have a young leader development program for the future success of your credit unions? Everybody. Perfect. How many of you have a young leader program that assists in the recruitment, the retention, and the engagement of your young leaders? Wow. How many of you have a young leader program that pinpoints the future successors of your credit union? How many of you have a young leader program that is managed by your young leaders? This is what the Service Young Leaders Network is. The Service Young Leaders Network was created to foster the growth of young leaders within Service Credit Union through leadership development, personal skill development, and mentorship while upholding the cooperative principles and the Service Credit Union values. Built by young leaders, for young leaders. What I mean by that is the Service Young Leaders Network was created and is managed by the young leaders of Service Credit Union. And that includes the management of a $50,000 annual budget. Now, I truly believe to have a successful young leader program, you do have to have the engagement and the involvement of the young leaders to create it. We've had our greatest success because our young leaders have bought into the program as they see it is managed by their peers. We do have an executive sponsor for our program, but he manages with a very hands-off approach. And by giving us greater trust and autonomy, I feel a greater responsibility and accountability to deliver an industry-leading young leader development program. And that's what we're doing. And here is how. After we created our mission, vision, and constitution, we needed to figure out how to communicate with our young leaders. Service Credit Union has 882 employees, 35 and under. So we decided to meet them in an area where they would be comfortable with, and that is through social networking. So what we did was set up the Service Young Leaders Network online site. This acts like your regular social networking site where you can update your status, load pictures, and different items like that. But there's also some key developmental opportunities that we added to the site that I'm going to talk about later. To date, we have about 325 of our young leaders registered to the site, but we also have 75 people over the age of 35. And that is important because it allows young leaders to collaborate with experienced leaders.